Hi, stamping friends. It's Marilyn here, coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. My business page and website and social media is all under Stamping Creations with Marilyn, so I'd like to welcome you to my Facebook Live this morning. A bit of a change this week because I was kind of holidaying. My cousins and my brother were camping, and we were lucky enough to be able to spend each afternoon and evening with them. So sorry for the change up in times. Sorry for the mix up in times with some of my postings. I did have a 11 and 11:30 in one place and whatever. So if that's confusing you, hopefully you will find me or the replay. And I will also be posting this on my YouTube channel after it's done. So thank you for joining me as you're coming on, and I'm just chatting for a few minutes with you. Please let me know where you're watching from and what you do for holidays this year. I know this year is still a little bit different with COVID still hanging around, and we want to all be safe health-wise, so we are not going too far ourselves, but like I said, it was really nice to be able to go out to visit my cousins and my brother at the campsite where they were camping not too far from here, about a half an hour, so wasn't too bad a drive at all. So today I do have a few specials to show you from me and Stampin' Up. I have some equipment to show you. I posted a couple days ago a picture of the Stampin' cut and emboss machines that Stampin' Up now has, and asked if you have one or two of them, like as in the big or the mini, regular mini. I'm not sure the exact terminology. I should look that up in the catalog. And let me know what you like best about them. They are great machines. I'm going to use each one of them today just to show you a couple things with them. So while we're getting things ready and I'm making sure you're in the right place, and making sure I'm in the right place. If you're here, you are in the right place. Welcome, welcome. So I am going to switch the camera down and to my desktop, and we will see what's on there. Hang on. So as I do that, I will try not to make you too dizzy and switch my line up. So there, you should be able to see what's on my desktop. So we have a new Sale-A-Bration catalog coming, as you can see. I've had a couple questions about that. Those who've been around Stampin' Up demos and websites for a while realize that usually Sale-A-Bration only happens in January, but this year we are lucky enough to have two Sale-A-Brations. So this one will be running from August 3rd to September 30th. Can't show you the inside of these yet, but this is the brochure. And if you do not have a demonstrator and you live in Canada, I'd love to have you contact me and I can be your demonstrator and send some catalogs to you. So that is our Sale-A-Bration. Hello, Linda. Welcome. Sale-A-Bration brochure. I can show you the front and the back of that. Also, starting on August 3rd is our new mini catalog, which we are calling the Holiday Mini. I'm calling the Holiday Mini. I don't know what others are just calling it the Mini. July to December, except shipping issues caused Stampin' Up to delay it to August, so it's August to December. So August 3rd, we can purchase out of this, or you can purchase out of this one as a customer. As a demonstrator, you can purchase out of it through your demo account right now, and there are some amazing things in this catalog, and I will over the next few months obviously be showing you those. So there's front and back of that catalog. And then again, happening only now, July 1st to August 2nd is a designer series paper sale, 15% off of 9 different packages. So those are the packages. They are all from the big catalog, or the annual catalog as we call it. And each one of them was $15.75, is now $13.39, so a 15% saving. Some great deals there. Sorry, this one was $29, it's $24.65. And that's because there are double the amount of pages in that particular one. So today for our card, we are going to be working with Bloom Where You're Planted. So stay with me. Also, designer series paper. Each new catalog that comes out, I have been hosting a paper share. So if you would like to get in on that, register with me before July 31st. Then I can order the paper, then I can get it cut and out to you. So, hi Cherie, nice to see you. Welcome. So part of the paper share is I will give you for the $45, 66 pieces of designer series paper and cardstock. These are how many pieces you'll get of each. You'll get cardstock coordinating with it, so you can make cards right away. So again, let me know. Deadline is July 31st for that. Another special that I have going together with Lillian and Joanne from our Stamping Staycation. Our team there has put together 6 tutorials using the Evergreen Elegance bundle. And I'll just bring that in to show you quickly. This is the stamp set, which has 3 different sized trees, a couple stars, some boughs of spruce boughs, probably, and some great writing. Love the mix of the fonts in there. This is a stamp for doing grounding your trees kind of thing. And that stamp set and this punch, which makes the trees, see if I can not glare that in your eyes, come as a bundle. So our deal is if you purchase $60 or more before July 31st from me, or from each one of us, we're doing the kind of the same thing, you will get the tutorial free, or you can purchase it for $20. If you're on my team, you can purchase it for half price, for $10, and you can join my team anytime. So again, social media, you can go here to find all the details or contact me. So I think that is all of the news and notes for now. Host code, if you're purchasing, don't have a demonstrator and live in Canada, purchasing under $200 per order, I'd appreciate you using my host code. And now, let me see if I can find 152 to 153. So, as I mentioned earlier, these are what I'm going to show you a little bit about today. The big and small, you'll love them all, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. Stampin' Up came out with 2 of them. We have what we call the big one, which holds a 6-inch die or embossing folder, and then the smaller one, which I'm going to say is 4-inch, but I'll show you the 2 of them. They have a number of accessories for them, and when I make cards or shadow boxes, anything that I do, I quite often use that for either embossing or cutting. So I love having mine in my crafting room. So let's get started with, first of all, showing you the big one. And I'll see, you should be able to see what's happening with it, how big it is. So this is the card we're going to make shortly, but you can see the card is 5.5, so that's a little bit wider. So it's a 6-inch platform. I have it set up right now. I'm going to cut out on this designer paper some of these images because the dies that come with that particular bundle go around the images on the designer paper. So you have, when you get it, you have numbered plates. You can see 1, 2, 3. This is another 3, but I quite often, doesn't matter if it's right set up or not. So you need certain things to cut and emboss certain, but the instructions are all listed for you. So when we started with using the Big Shot that was made by another company, we had to have sheets of paper telling us what sandwich order to have, but now it's all right on there. So virtually line them up and turn the handle, and I hope it doesn't shake picture too much, and you end up with coming through on the other side. Both machines do fold up. I'm not going to snap that because it makes quite a noise, but they do fold up totally. I'll show you on the smaller one. So when you're done, and I left the piece behind. Virtually it cuts out exactly what's on that designer paper. I use a little bit of washi tape. You can use masking tape, maybe take some of the stickiness off on your arm or your jeans or whatever, just so it doesn't pull. You can notice on here I didn't do that, and I ended up taking a piece of the color off there. But you can maybe get by without using washi tape, but I prefer to use it so that my image cuts out more exact. I'm not going to say it's always exact. I'll show you in a couple minutes what happened there. So that's one thing that I do with the cut and emboss machine, is cut out shapes from designer paper. So I'm going to move the big one. And as you can hear, there's a phone ringing, but so, and this is a little one. Isn't it a cute little thing? Just so cute. So for that one, to show you, it comes with exactly the same thing. Well, not quite numbered the same way, but they are all numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, with description of what you need to do with them. And in the catalog, you will see, and I'll just see if I can find quickly. No. There is a symbol. Just a minute. I'll find the dies and I'll show you there. Okay. When you come across a symbol like this that says mini, that means most of these pieces, maybe not all of them, will fit through the mini. So they are narrow enough to go through. If you don't see that, as in this one, you know that you need the big cut and emboss machine to use that particular die. So I have one that's called Greenery, and I ran it through on some green paper and just ran it through like this. I'll just show you that. So you always start with plate 1. Then for this one, I needed plate 3. It says insert embossing folder. This is an embossing folder. It has the hinge here. I'm going to put in a piece of my cinnamon cider cardstock and insert it first, and then put in the 3. And we've discovered on this smaller machine that you don't need to, or it might work better if you don't line these up exactly. So as long as it's covering your embossing folder, which that looks like I should have to move it up there so it's covered, then you don't need to, and when I tried this first, it went through and there was no embossing on it, and I thought, okay, there's something I'm not doing right. So don't force your machine. And also, if it does that, like if it goes through, I think I had plate 4 with it. It did not emboss. I knew I needed a thicker plate. So then you have a great design when it comes out. Isn't that cool? And such a cute little machine. And this one as well does fold up if you want to take it on a scrapbooking weekend, card making retreat, whatever. Works great. So further to that set that I'm using today for that card that I already showed you, it's called Plentiful Plants, and it's a set out of the new catalog that personally I probably wouldn't have picked, but I took a course from a fellow demonstrator out of Calgary, and the kit came with it. A kit to make some cards, which I'll show you later, the stamp set, and the die set. So there are 14 dies, and, oh, got them upside down. I usually write my number of dies on there so that I know I've got them all before I file this away again. And it comes with the stamp set, which is a photopolymer set. And what I like to do is, as part of getting to know my set, is to actually stamp and cut out. So these are stamped out and cut. These guys are all just cut with the dies. These are out of the paper, which are the ones similar to what I just did here. And these are stamped and cut. So amazing amount of variety that you can have out of that set. And that is in the annual catalog. The paper that I'm using is the Bloom Where You're Planted. And a number of us demonstrators do this kind of layout to show the different sides of the designer paper, rather than have, like I have partial package here, I have a full package here, but it's a little bit easier to show it this way. Plus we show the coordinating colors in cardstock here. So for that, for this one, I use this paper. You can see both sides of it. For this background, I use this. And for this, I actually fussy cut around that. And I'll show you a couple tips on doing that as I'm going forward. So for my card, if you have questions, please leave questions in the comments. I will try to follow them and answer as we go. If I can't, I will certainly go back and go over them afterwards and won't leave you hanging without answers. Or if there's anyone else watching that knows the answer, be sure and let us know. Hello, Terry. Welcome. So for my card base, I have 8.5 by 5.5, which is what we call our standard card base. I have this piece at 5 1/4 by 4. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead, because my note says 5 1/4 divided by 2 is 2 5/8. Well, that's because that's where I want to cut it here. And on this one, I cut it in 1.5 inches. And I think for our sample here, I'm going to only cut it in 1 inch. And as you're leaving comments, glad to see you are, just a reminder that I do draw from those names next week, and I will be sending you this card that we're making. So 2 5/8. So this is the cutter from Stampin' Up that we currently sell, and it has all kinds. It's got 1/16 of an inch measurements. So I'm going to go 4 5/8, 2 5/8 there. And it also has measurements here, and I've put a piece of just white cardstock on here to make it more visible. So I want to start at the 1 inch and cut. So I've got my slit, and I'm going to fold it back. That's all I need the trimmer for there. Then I'm going to try not to tear it and fold it from that corner to this point. And I might, not quite exact, but it's, and I'm going to use the bone folder. And I like how this shows both sides of your designer paper, and it gives you a chance to just show off a little if you can't decide, because most of these designer papers we really struggle with. Oh, I like that. Like, especially if you turn it over and you're going to put glue on it. Oh, I should have used that side. I really like that one. So that's one way to show it off. Yes, Linda, the brick design is great. And stamping on it, well, I didn't do a very good job there, but I did down here. It is quite easy to go straight. So for the back piece, I didn't cut a full size. I cut one that is 2 inches by 5 1/4. And before I do that, though, I am going to do the stamping. And these words are from that stamp set. Again, just a tip, if you're having trouble opening these, if you pinch here, they do pop open and make it a little easier. I've had a few questions about that as well. So for photopolymer stamps, I like to use the stamping pierce mat underneath it. And I'm going to use my evergreen ink because if you remember on here, it showed the colors, and this is evening evergreen. So I know that those colors are going to match my designer paper. And this time I will really try, not that I didn't try last time, but looks a little straighter. I'm also going to stamp at the bottom the other words. So as I said in the beginning, let me know where you're watching from and what your favorite holiday is this year, what you're doing for holidays. Oh, and the other thing that I did on this card before I put the ink away is I did stamp a leaf on the inside layer. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And usually I like to stamp so it's a little bit off. It just, to me, it looks, I guess, more artsy, maybe? I don't know. Never claimed to be an artist, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so when I go to use glue, especially this liquid glue, I like to have my silicone mat underneath. And I am going to put the glue here and then put this piece on. And my reason for not doing it the other way, not putting it on here, I want to make sure that the points of this folded piece are going to be at these corners. So let me know if you've got the new catalog. We can't show the inside of the catalog to anyone here, but if you have it, and it is coming in the mail to those I mailed it to, let me know what you like. What's your first thing that you thought you would have to have out of that new catalog? There are so many awesome designer papers, which is something I always graduate to. And I did, as you noticed, just glue those down because you could use a glue dot, but I wanted everything to be pretty well a flat layer. Hi, Maria. Welcome. So we're just making this card. So I like to do my stamping before I glue, as you can see, and I will put that inside. And then for this fussy cutting, I use paper snips, which is, again, something that Stampin' Up! Sells. These I've had for my full 14 years, whatever. They're still very sharp. They have what's called a short shank on them, so they're easier to use for fussy cutting. So I'm going to use the same, you know what, maybe not. Maybe I'll use this one. So you can see, even though the dies do not cut out all of the designs in the paper, it is, the paper and all of the papers are like this, where you can do what we call fussy cutting. So what I like to do with the short shank scissors like this that are sharp is cut around and leave. You can notice here I've left just a little bit of the, I'm going to say white, but you know it's not white in this case, but the background. And then turn the cardstock instead of turning your scissors. And I don't worry about getting into these little slots, because again, when Stampin' Up! Puts these designer papers together, they coordinate all the colors. So you know that no matter what you put with this designer paper, if you're using that color, coordinating colors that I mentioned on the, we put on those display sheets, you know that you're going to have coordinating projects finished. So just work your way around, and I leave a little bit all the way around on the edges. And then I'm going to use On this one, I am going to use some dimensionals to pop this flower pot up. Hi Karen, welcome. Good to see you. Just question you just missed was that what are you doing for holidays this year? Part of my reason for being on this morning instead of Thursday night like usual is that we have spent 4 afternoons, evenings out at the campground with my brother and my cousins. It's an annual thing that we've done for, I'm going to say probably close to 10 years. And we do see each other the rest of the year, keep in touch, but this has kind of become our treat to ourselves. And even though we have sold our trailer last year, we still go out for the afternoon and evening to spend time with them. So I appreciate you watching today because I did have to change this from my regular time. And we had a great time. We did have a bit of rain yesterday, but because they have trailers and awnings and whatever, we didn't get too wet. So as you can see, that one will still fit, and I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals. We have the 2 different sizes, but before I do that, I am going to put this on the card. So yeah, let me know, and like I say, don't leave, because at the end of today's video, I will draw for last week's card. And oh, look at that. It's not very good. As I'm going to put that down, I see that my edge of the background paper isn't where it should be. So always great to have scissors right there to work with. That, and then I'm going to put this one on the inside, and you can use your favorite adhesive, whatever it is. I've started using a little bit more of the Stampin' Seal, which is what this is. Has taken a while to learn how to work with it, but it is a great adhesive. So that will go inside. And then all we have to do is pop our flower pot on here. So I'm going to use big ones, big dimensionals, large dimensionals, I guess they're called, where I can. And up here, of course, got it out of the camera so you can't see. Up here where these little tiny leaves are, I will put a couple of our smaller ones. And then all we need to do is peel those off. And so far, my fingers are still limber enough to do that. I know lots of demonstrators use the take your pick tool and poke them to get them off, or fingernail. I have fingernails that, like I say, so far are working okay. So I am going to kind of line that up in the middle. And you'll notice, because I did a shorter cut here, that I could put the wider plant in there. So there is our card. Let me know which one you like the best. This one will be the one that goes to those of you in the draw for next week. The back side looks like a wild bunny. Yes, Terry. Yeah, when I had that flipped over, it did. So, like I say, those are my 2 cards, my 2 samples, but I have a few more here. When I took that course, this is one that we made. There's the macrame hanger. We put some die cuts in behind, just stamped for background. This is another one with the die cuts again, stamped and cut out. This is a plant hold. We decided was a planter, and the pot fit in it. Hello, Doreen. Welcome. Let me know where you're watching from, and what your favorite holiday is this year. Our COVID has kind of put us all on hold for long distance holidays, I'm sure. And this one is using one of our tags, some of our new ribbon, And again, some of the different die cuts and the different papers. So great ideas. And this one is a swap I just received from my friend Tracy. And it's using a stamp set I do not have called, it's a large happy birthday one. It's got happy and you see lots of different designs out with it. And a different fold. Isn't that a fantastic idea? And to tie the ribbon around that piece. I haven't seen that fold, so thank you, Tracy, for sharing that. So those are the ones with the Plentiful Plants. Then I have a few others that I've received as swaps I just want to share with you. I have this one that my friend Lillian sent, and it's done with the Whirl, Give It a Whirl dies. And she has a great video on how to do it. But isn't that cute? This little guy is cut from paper. It's not a stamp. It's, again, one of the fussy cut ones from Designer Series paper. This one, from my friend Pam, has the shimmer vellum in the back. I thought, what a great way to use that shimmer vellum. I love that paper. And it's what we call a book fold. So again, a little bit different fold. This one is another one from Tracy with a different stamp set, but just your black. And you find that if you're not quite sure what colors to use, black always makes everything pop. And you can certainly see that in this case. This one is from my friend Charlotte, and it's using the designer paper from the Hostess paper that's out right now. And she colored this white baker's twine with her ink pad. And you can see it's kind of variegated, so great idea there. This one is from Lorene, and she's done a beach scene. Love you to the beach and back. So great use of kind of a wash on the back there. And this one from my friend Sharon with the bamboo set, which I don't have as well. So I'm glad to be able to share these with you. So thank you to all of those for sharing cards with me. That is great. And thank you to all of you for coming along to watch. I will be posting this on my YouTube channel where you can subscribe, and I'd appreciate it if you did. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you do not have a demonstrator and you live in Canada, I'd love to help you out. And you can reach out to me on Facebook, on YouTube, on my website, or on Instagram. You'll find me in all of those places. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope to be back on Thursday night again next week. Take care. Bye now.